Speaking of smiling, I was just looking over there and watching Dierks just
My face hurts.
his face is starting to hurt.
I was just thinking the same thing. My whole face hurts from this whole day so far. Just walked in the front door. My face really does hurt from smiling. It's a real.
How old are you, Dierks?
30-something.
30-something. It's way on up there.
Way on up there. I'm curious. I'm just curious how you became such a fan and devotee of bluegrass music.
I'm just sitting here. In this business, you don't take a lot of time to reflect. You're usually just trying to stay present where you are and worrying about where you're going to be that day and in the future trying to get somewhere. But just being in this room just blows my mind because my perspective on it is really unique. I'm a fan, probably first and foremost, but I'm also friends with a lot of people in this room, and there's heroes of mine in this room that I don't even know them personally that well, but I know them so well through their music, and I've listened to their music so much I feel like I know them. But I moved here in '94 to Nashville, and I immediately was turned off by the music scene just because I had this picture in my mind of what country music was, and a lot of songwriters, and more organic, real sustenance kind of thing. And I got here and realized it wasn't like that at all. It was more of a business, and there's a lot of people that weren't writing their own music and really trying to follow. A lot of people were trying to be like Garth Brooks, and I just, I'm from Arizona, and I don't wear a hat, and I don't starch my jeans, and I don't, much to my dad's chagrin, I usually don't tuck my shirt in, and so I just kind of got turned off by country music, and a friend of mine was reading the Nashville scene and saw something about a band called the Sidemen playing the Station Inn every Tuesday night. And I walked in the front door. It says 1994. I was 19 years old. And it's like, it'd be the same as, it's so weird comparison, but like, Columbus discovering the New World. It's like when you discover new music, it's a whole new, it's like discovering a new continent or something. It really was. I walked in that door. I remember looking left and seeing Terry Eldridge, who is strange for me because he's one of my good friends, but he's also this real iconic figure in my musical life. Walking and seeing these guys on the stage, it's about 6 inches tall, and there's 3 or 4 lights up there that work, and there's no smoke, no lights, no videos being shot, just a bunch of guys wearing baggy jeans that weren't, starched up or anything, and white tennis shoes,
I'm
moving
home.
up there playing and it was these guys, man. I immediately it changed my whole world, and I could sit there and talk about it for hours. It's really weird because I'm tied to everyone in this room in some way through that initial encounter, through that band, the Sidemen, through Terry Eldridge, and the guys that kind of made up that band were a combination of guys from the Osborne Brothers and from the Del McCoury band, and some of the guys that played with Monroe, and it was just from there, just hanging with Terry, and I didn't miss a Tuesday night for probably 5 years. The one Tuesday night I missed was a snowstorm in February, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to go to the station tonight. I'm going to stay home. My friend called me. A friend called me later that night and said, you missed it. The power went out. Vince Gill and Amy Grant showed up. Everyone went into the back room and had a little, just gathering back there. And so then I was like, the one Tuesday night I missed. So that recommitted me to never missing another Tuesday night again. And I could go on for forever. That spilled into Larry Coral on Wednesday nights, and my weekend usually started on Tuesday nights. Just by the time the weekend rolled around, I was done because I've seen the Sidemen on Tuesday, then Coral on Wednesday. But between Terry Eldridge and then Jason Carter of the Del McCoury band, Jason really. I immediately fell in love with the Osborne Brothers and with the Del McCoury band, became a huge Del head, right away. Went to see those guys, Well, I think when first Terry used to take him back to see the Osborne Brothers play, Immediately became a huge disciple of the Osborne Brothers, and then with Jason and the Del McCoury band, went to hang out with them a lot, and went to Telluride Bluegrass Festival with them, and Jason and I drove back across the country together. Got arrested in Arkansas. Well, I didn't get arrested. We got pulled over.
I remember that. Yeah. I'll break in there.
He was trying. Almost got arrested.
Jason told me, we was playing Telluride, and of course we flew out there because it's hard to bus it, We flew out, and Jace, at the end of the show, he said, "Now I'm riding back with Dierks, And I said, "Where? Back to Nashville?" Yeah. He said, "I'm going back with him in his truck." He had a dually truck, didn't he?
A white truck. Is that up front? Same truck.
Same truck. And So I said, man, you know how far that is? Oh, that's all right, we're buddies. Of course, they'd been buddies and I didn't know it, and I heard the name then, but I really didn't know Dierks. And of course, you had some other buddies too, I think, that were there. But then I got to know Dierks soon after that, and they got stopped in Arkansas. You was about to tell that story, wouldn't you?
Yeah. We got pulled over, and I thought it was, the police officer. He said, you know why I pulled you over? And I said, I have no idea. I don't know. He said, well, we smelled marijuana as you drove by, and we're in Arkansas. That's what he said. We smelled. We. That's exactly what he said to us, and I thought that was the strangest thing because I don't do any of that. And I said, we're just coming back from the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. Jason Carter's a member of the Del McCurry band, Bluegrass, the Bluegrassers, and I thought that was a cool thing. He immediately, that was a big red flag. This is a true story. He said, oh, really? Coming back from the Telluride Bluegrass Festival? All right, stay right here. And then 2 more cars came up behind us. One had the dog. They brought the dog out and sniffed all over our car. And he got Jason and I in separate places and started asking me if I'd ever seen the inside of an Arkansas State prison before. And I'm like, and the dog started smelling. This is crazy story. He started sniffing one of my tires, and going crazy over the tire. And he goes, do we need to look inside that tire, my rear tire? And you can if you want to. I mean, I if we were trying to make it back to the Station Inn on time, because it was Tuesday night, Jason was trying to get back to the station. And, it was the most bizarre thing. And finally he said, all right, we're gonna let you guys go. And it was about an hour and a half they stopped us. It was the most bizarre thing, but it was a good bonding experience for Jason and I. Hey, I could just go on for a long time. But we stopping at every truck stop and picking up, cassettes of Reno and Smiley and just, anything we could find. He really turned me on to a lot of stuff. And him and Jason and Terry. And Terry really, that band, the Sidemen, listening to Terry and hanging out with El and his love of Bobby and Sonny and of George Jones and really between the Sidemen and the Osmond brothers really learned the similarities between country and bluegrass. The Sidemen would play a lot of Haggard songs and as well as bluegrass songs, and then you see the stuff that the Osmond brothers did where they really mixed country and bluegrass together. Yeah. One of those bands that really kind of was the bridge between genres, and it was that experience and being around those guys in the bluegrass community that brought me back into country music and showed me what country music could be. Kind of a weird way to get back to the roots of country, but really through the Sidemen and Terry and hanging out with Jason and the Del McCurry band, and certainly.
Well, thanks for sharing that, man.
Bobby and Sonny.
We're not gonna let you sing right now, though.
Good. All right. But delay me as long as possible. I'm having fun, and it's gonna be hard to form any words. My cheeks hurt so much from smiling.